Well, inflation is high, and it has been markedly higher than we projected in March. At the same time, wage growth is set to be considerably higher than last year, and the krona has weakened considerably. That will push up inflation going forward, and we therefore need a higher interest rate to curb inflation.
Governor, it sounds as though it's not just the Norges Bank in this predicament. We obviously just had the Bank of England now also go for a larger than expected rate hike for that 50 basis points. To what extent do you think this inflation stickiness is a global phenomenon?
We do see that core inflation is ticking upwards in Norway. It now reached 6.7%, and it has held up higher than expected in many other countries as well. So inflation is becoming, in many countries, more broad-based. For us, higher wage growth than expected, and adding to that the weaker currency will likely also contribute to core inflation and inflation remaining elevated for quite some time ahead.
Well, you've also raised your interest rate path in the future as well, which is another hawkish indication to the market. Should we read this as a sort of a re-evaluation of how tight monetary policy needs to be in order to bring inflation back to target?
Given the current outlook for inflation, taking into account our forecast for wage growth and for the currency, we do think that the higher policy rate is warranted to bring inflation back.
So I know it's always difficult to ask these questions in retrospect, but going back to January, that was a meeting where the Norges Bank decided to skip or pause, whatever you want to call it. In retrospect, do you think that was the right decision, given now, to a certain extent, you could argue that you're playing catch-up?
The decision in January was based on the outlook and our assessments of the risk as they were in January. Since the turn of the year, the krona has depreciated markedly. We've seen an uptick in wage growth, and also interest rates globally have come up, and in particular interest rates among our trading partners. So those factors, in addition to the inflation surprise that we've seen in Norway, has contributed to the lifting of the interest rate path in this round.